Hey, cousins. Listen, your girl, I be predicting stuff. And somebody made a very good point, and I think I was in the wrong section of town where what I should have been doing was seeing what UFC's doing. So we are, what, 2 years, 3 years into the Paul Levinsky era, Netflix era, TKO Endeavor era that's now been bought by Silver Lake, which is a hedge fund. And I'm going to tell you something right now. When a hedge fund buys something, their job is to run it into the ground. Their job is to run it into the ground, no matter how successful it is. Okay? Now, for all the people that's like, well, just like the product and enjoy it. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Everyone says that until it's on your doorstep. I'm following this because at some point I'm not gonna have access to WWE programming. And it's gonna come to a point where WWE and programming is gonna be behind a paywall, period. Altogether, whoop to whoop to whoop. Like you're gonna have to either upgrade your Peacock, upgrade your Netflix, or go find another streaming service if they decide to move or something like that. And I'm not doing that. This is not 1995. I didn't pay for it then when I ain't have the money, and my parents was like, hell no, and I damn sure ain't paying for it now. So I'm gonna keep an eye on these free links. You understand? Before we get into this, I just want to throw this out. Memberships to the channel are open. I know money's tight and all that, but your girl, this stuff is expensive. I am talking to a $300 mic. Now, did I have to pay $300 mic for it? Maybe, maybe not. But I want the best quality when I'm giving you guys, you know, what I'm giving you. Everything that I do, I have to pay. Even the little funny banners and stuff, that is a paid subscription if you want to get access to all the good stuff. And it wasn't like that 5 years ago. But like everything else, the price yesterday ain't the price today. So if you are inclined, memberships are open, super chats, all that stuff. The cousins have been doing that. I want to give a shout out to y'all. Probably haven't done my due diligence to be individual about it, but y'all know I appreciate and I love y'all for supporting your sisters over there on Girl. What that got to do with wrestling? Podcast over on Patreon. That is available. I'm picking it up. Doing what I got to do over there, which is completely separate from here. But if you on both, even better. Let's get into this. I had to do a little housekeeping. I went over and I wanted to see what the UFC business model looks like because I feel like in the next, well, we're already on 3 years, right? 3 years. I want to say in the next, let's say we're 2 years in. In the next 3 years, this is what we have to look forward to from WWE. And the reason why I say that, this whole Las Vegas shit and the fact that they're trying to have like a quote unquote hub for WrestleMania, like a residency in Las Vegas of all fucking places, which just knocks out all of the other places that could use the revenue, use the situation. That WrestleMania being moved was on the news in New Orleans. And there was people like, you know what, we was already planning. Like, I'm a pro wrestler, the guy said, and I had all my shit lined up for WrestleMania. And now this is happening and it's throwing everything into like a tizzy. Listen, there's a silver lining for everything because you can put WrestleMania right on the motherfucking wall and still have your independent wrestling. Or you can have people come, you pay for the wrestling, have people come, and then after WrestleMania, have a late night, you know what I mean, drinks, chicken wings, whatever, and then put on your wrestling match. Some of these wrestling promotions need to start changing their business model because after a while, you're not going to be able to be right there physically with that population in terms of WrestleMania because they're going to be in Las Vegas all the time. And if you're in promotion in places like New Orleans or Michigan or Ohio or New York City, New Jersey, Florida, I could go on and on and on, you going to get tired of like picking up your whole shit and going to Las Vegas. Las Vegas ain't fucking cheap, even for the people that's living there. That's why I was always on fucking cops. Anyway, everybody's going to have to change their business model. But I was over here and I found the business model for UFC. And this is what we're going to have to look forward to, guys. And it lines up from the business model from TKO. But it just didn't dawn on me that they really want WWE to function like UFC, especially with all them fucking commercials. And by the way, Netflix said because WWE's rollout was so popular and they get the little steady 2 million views on Netflix. So everybody who's like 2 million views and they losing people, Netflix said that's good. Netflix says that's good because that's keeping the live open. And y'all know that WWE was basically the conduit to live streaming for Netflix. WWE was never the focal point. It was pro wrestling, not pro wrestling, sorry, it was football, basketball, UFC, and all that other frivolous shit, okay? WWE was just the conduit to get those lines open and going smooth. We were the guinea pigs, us wrestling fans. So, with that being said, UFC, WWE, the whole shit, UFC right now has the Ultimate Fighter reality show, affiliate and development leagues, Power Slap, boxing promotions, apparel, merchandise, and a wide range of streaming and membership services. So this is the business analysis. Now, if you're interested in this, please sit and listen. I'm going to make it as entertaining as possible. The core strategy is brand dominance. So without having to read all of that, let's just use context clues. Right now, WWE is moving into Europe with what are they calling it? NXT Europe. They are trying to dominate the brand of pro wrestling. So for everybody that's like AEW about to close and shit, and TNA about to shut down, and they just bought AAA, you better hope that AEW specifically and TNA coming up on the back don't never close, because we're going to be right back to that monopoly shit, and that is what they're trying to do. Number 2, global expansion. UFC is trying to take over the whole world. We understand that. Okay, and they charge big motherfucking money for their pay-per-views and their tickets. And what is WWE doing? Trying to expand around the globe. What does that look like? More live events overseas, more events way over in Saudi Arabia, moving stuff around to accommodate the international audience. They're about to leave the base of America and go get that shmoney, okay? And fuck up other places, independent wrestling in the process. 3, media rights and distribution. UFC. Y'all know, remember when Brock Lesnar had on the Jimmy John shorts? Soon, you going to see Jimmy Johns on those goddamn uniforms these wrestlers are wearing on their apparel. They already put the little the emblem for the tops. So the way that worked, if y'all didn't know about it, is let's say CM Punk got a little tops emblem on his trunks, and after he wrestles, what they do is they cut the trunk and the emblem and put it in the tops laminate, and you could buy that. Yes, I'm so serious. Okay, don't be shocked. They already gave the mat, which Vince McMahon, he said it was sacred. It's supposed to be clean. It's supposed to. It serves a purpose. The mat is gone. Everything in WWE is for sale, just like UFC. So get ready for more commercials for shit you don't want to buy. Because Netflix said they sold all of the commercial slots during Raw. Yes, they did. I read that article. They said they sold all of the commercial slots during Raw. And that is why you see more commercials on Raw than you probably would have saw before on USA. They sold all the slots on SmackDown on USA. It is just a place to just throw money and get advertisements, not for us to buy it, because they already said that the pro wrestling fan base is poor. Remember that article? Financial matrix. Revenue streams. This is important. UFC earns from live entertainment events, pay-per-view, broadcast, media rights, sponsorships, merchandise. In recent years, media rights have become a substantial portion of the revenue, reflecting shift in content consumption habits. Identical to what I read on what the 5-year plan for WWE is under TKO Endeavor Silver Lake. We have to add Silver Lake because they just bought into this shit as well. I'm telling you, I'm educating y'all because we got to get ready for this shit. We ain't gonna have access to what we love and enjoy. Next one. Growth rate. The UFC has seen a steady growth over the years, with 2023 being its biggest market year, earning $1 billion in revenue, over 200 million versus 222. I don't know why I read that like that. Either way, with Netflix giving $5 billion into WWE, first of all, they came out like gangbusters. The check is cash. Now they're trying to recoup it. And they're using UFC's business model to get that money back for them stakeholders. And once stakeholders come into the business, you can forget it. Hence, profit margins. Okay? Specific figures are closely guarded, but they're making money like none the fuck other. They are squeezing this niche market like a sponge, and they're not dipping it back into the water. That's the worst part of it all. Okay, next. This is called the SWOT analysis. So it's SWT. Okay, so we're going to go through UFC, and you could go ahead and translate this to WWE so you know what to look forward to. Brand equity. Okay, UFC is the most recognizable name in MMA, synonymous with high quality fights and athletics. WWE wants to be the brand that is most recognizable with pro wrestling, hence the spread of the commercialization of the product. Okay? And the way to do that is with a worldwide fan base and international events to ensure broad market reach and diversification while almost being the most profitable. This is what WWE will become. Okay? Vertical integration. The UFC owns or controls a significant portion of its business operations, including production, merchandise, woo woo woo. The integration allows UFC to capture more value from its core business and reduces reliance on third-party partners. Okay, so when WWE has ID, they got NXT, they got Evolve, they got NXT Europe coming up. That is so they don't have to go outside. And apparently they just added Mark Henry with the Caribbean wrestling that he does too. We'll talk about that, girl. Ciao. Diverse revenue streams. This is where we got all of the commercials, right? A clear example is the creation of Fight Island in Abu Dhabi. So now when you see WWE talking about they're going to go to Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, this is what they're doing, diversifying their revenue streams. I wouldn't be surprised if WrestleMania is going to Riyadh at some point. Y'all not going to like it. But they're going to go to Riyadh. Most of these main pay-per-views are going to go to Riyadh. And Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, them Arab countries, they got that oil money. They got them kingdoms out there. So hell yeah. Saudi Arabia may have put that man in that drum and cut him up or whatever. But we going to move aside that. They may even be the people behind goddamn the 9/11 bombing. But never mind that. Money talks, bullshit walks. Proprietary content and exclusive contracts. By hosting fighter talent through exclusivity rights, this ensures a steady stream of unique events. Listen, fighter contracts are negotiable within the UFC umbrella, as some fighters can compete in special grappling and boxing contests. So contracts can be unique to the person, unique to the value of the product or the employee. Roman Reigns is going to make $15 million. Okay, over 5 years. Because right now, Roman Reigns is the main attraction. If by chance Roman Reigns is no longer the bee's knees, he will no longer make $5 million and probably less. That is what they're going into. Here's the weaknesses. Listen to this. Reliance on stars, okay? Translate this to WWE. The absence or decline of such stars can impact event sales and viewership. When stars are injured, leave the sport, or retire, there's an obvious fan gap to fill. That is the first weakness. We're seeing it in WWE. We're seeing it. We all complain there's no stars. We're looking at old motherfuckers from the past filling in gaps. That's why they'll have no issue bringing in somebody like, I don't know, Name an old star. Jesse the Body Ventura and giving him a match. Matter of fact, Goldberg. Bring in Goldberg. He comes with the brand name. He comes with his nostalgia. That can fill in the gap. Okay? Oh my goodness, this is like... Oh. Another weakness, the company has come under scrutiny during the last few years in regards to abysmal fighter pay outside the top five. This has resulted in potential loss of talent or stars who may be interested in joining the roster. Again, if WWE ain't gonna do it, AEW's gonna do it. And if you really that hard up, you go to TNA and get what you need. Old boy moved up to Canada. He got Maple Leaf Wrestling. Like, there's still a lot of wrestling and it's still paying. But the thing about WWE, AEW is you build your stack and you build your stock. And so you can go and negotiate for more money. Like Indy Hartwell's in TNA. Indy Hartwell apparently has been on the indie scene for a long time and doing her thing, but most of her stock building was in WWE, even though she didn't do much. But that's where people recognize her. They say it. Indy Hartwell, former WWE NXT Women's Champion. See? And then another weakness is the controversial image. The violent nature of the sport and various controversies within its athletes can limit its appeal and attract scrutiny. You could just translate that right over to WWE. It's like a fucking bookends, my God, on today. I got to wrap this up. I ain't want to go too long. Opportunities. Emerging markets expanding into new regions, especially in Asia, Africa, can tap into a new fan base and talent pool. I don't know if WWE ever is going to go outside of South Africa, but Africa loves wrestling. Digital evolution, leveraging digital platforms for content distribution and fan engagement can open up new revenue channels. YouTube, Instagram, and they're slapping us with it all the time. UFC has also been involved with crypto, blockchain, AI-related organizations, partnerships. Look for the crypto coin from UFC. They already tried the NFT stuff. Close ties with political and international figureheads that have led to appearances and attendance by international leaders, political opposition, stars, and personalities. This was most recently displayed during events hosted by United Arab Emirates. Is that how you pronounce it? Now, here it is, threats. And I'm going to stop here because I'm going to just put the link to this website in this podcast because y'all need to know. We got to be prepared for this. This is the threats. Competitive pressure. Rival organizations of the sports vying for viewer attention can threaten UFC's market share. The UFC has been brazen about its price tags and yearly increases to ticket shows, pay-per-views, and events, memberships, and more. This may lead to a decrease in total viewership from the average income households. Listen. Regulatory hurdles, legal and regulatory challenges, particularly cornering fighting, health, and compensation, can impact operations and alternative organizations hosting more quote-unquote entertainment-based events at lower prices. Competition. Oh my God, this is so extensive. We go on and on and on. Get ready, y'all. WWE in the next 3 years is not going to be what we know as we know. So get ready. I'm gonna leave it right there. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments so far, and make sure you go read the article if you're super interested. Cause I'm just trying to help everybody out. Ain't no point getting riled up and upset, cause these motherfuckers about to fuck up the thing.